WMTY Sports 98.3, headed into the 2024 baseball season. I'm now joined by head coach of the Wildcats, Travis Watson. Coach, a lot of work going on outside at your facilities. Tell us about the off season and the upgrades that have been going on.
Well, hopefully this is we plan on this place being as nice a field as they are around in this parts of the country. So we're excited to get going, and hopefully just a few more days here we'll be on this turf, and the kids are pumped. We're pumped. A lot of support from the community.
Yeah.
And I think we're ready to go. Just hoping that the weather cooperates a little bit better and they can lay this remaining sand and rubber pellets. And we've got a game to be played, Coach, on Monday. So
right. Talk to us about practice. I know that's been a little bit different. What does that look like from a head coach's perspective?
Well, I tell you, you got to get up in the morning and kind of hopefully somebody will call between the four places that we have been going that can give us permission. You know, things change, weather, teams playing games. You know, we've been in Athens, we've been in Loudon, we've been in Philadelphia, and we've been here in town at 2 different sites. And so far we've made it work. You know, we're taking ground balls at one facility and swinging the bat at the other one, and you know, trying to stay away from injury. Some of these fields are really small, and you know, we're trying to hit at the other field. But so I'm sure the guys are kind of questioning my sanity on this. But you know, we're looking out to save baseballs and prevent people from getting hit on ground balls. So
right.
We're doing what we can.
From a perspective as a head coach, for those that might not know, the TWSA moved back baseball season by a week.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm sure limits you on the basketball players that are allowed to join you at practice. How has that impacted your practice so far?
Well, I was all for it. I was pretty excited about getting started earlier until, you know, we've been a little bit delayed here on the facility. And,
right.
And then, you know, basketball going into the region tournament, which is great. But, you know, it didn't hit home until, wait a minute, we play in a week and they're still playing. So you're like, well, maybe it should have been a year later.
Yeah.
But, you know, they passed it, and we're going to roll with it. And, you know, hopefully we'll be ready to go next week.
So everybody's familiar with last season. We know the historic run into the state tournament for the first time in school history. Does that roll over to this year? Is there things you can take from that experience, or is this just a brand new year?
Well, I think it's a good question. I think momentum-wise coming into this year, it certainly helps. You know, our kids are playing with more confidence. They know the system. You know, we go up last week and play some really good teams in Knoxville, and you just felt like it was just another game.
Right.
You know, you're playing against a Hardin Valley team that played for the state championship and the highest level in terms of attendance in the state of Tennessee.
Yeah.
And, you know, you're in a pretty good game with those guys. And I think really felt like our kids didn't matter the name on the jersey. You know, and I'm not so sure. I think the culture's changed. I think the confidence has changed. And I think that's, you know, a feather in the schools have the community to where, you know, we're playing against one of the best teams in Knoxville, and
right.
We're playing just like we're playing anybody else. And, you know, that shows a lot of confidence in us as coaches to see where we're at.
Yeah. So last season it seemed like your team played its best ball when its back was against the wall, and that kind of became their identity into
Mm-hmm.
the postseason.
Mm-hmm.
What do you look for as a coach to be your identity this season?
Well, I think we try to each team creates its own identity. And, you know, I think the leadership of these seniors are wanting to create that atmosphere of hard work. There's a level of the way we play the game. There's a blue-collar brand of baseball that we play. We've been told that from other coaches. You guys, you know, you're really hard to strike out. You play tough baseball. You're blue-collar. And, you know, and I think you have to do that. We don't have 4 or 5 pitchers on the mound that's going to throw 90 miles an hour.
Right.
Where, you know, you can just send them out, put their name on the lineup, and you're probably going to get a win pretty easy. We don't have that type of player. They're not here, but we do have some grinders. We got some baseball players and guys that play really hard. So I think we'll create that. It kind of you hope the mature level of the players, the older guys that will help develop that. And there's a standard that we play by. There's a standard of baseball. They know that. And I think it also has to do with keeping everybody accountable. Right. Each player keeping everybody accountable. We're pulling the rope in the same direction. And it's got to be an unselfish team no matter what.
Yep.
And we've talked about that for years is if you've got a team that doesn't care who gets the credit, you've got a chance to be successful.
Right.
And, I think we kind of got that figured out last year going in toward the end of the year. It doesn't matter. Just keep winning, baby. Just, whatever. So you'll have a different guy every game that has a big game. And, you think about all the plays. You saw it from the booth. All the, Correll making the circus catch at Loudon. Lorenz making some plays at short. Cody behind the plate blocking baseballs.
Yeah.
Jake Presley, how many runs did he save last year?
Yeah.
So, that's got to hopefully rub off on this team. And I think the culture's been set, and I do believe that the accountability is there. These seniors have been really good in terms of leadership so far, handling the younger players, and I'm not as worried about that as I am just getting these freshmen experience at this level of baseball.
Right. All right. So the final out of the 2024 season's made. Where's your expectation on where you're at?
You put me on the spot now. Well, you look and think we've been to the region tournament every year that Bryce and I've been here. So, you would think everything goes well, you're going to be in the region with a chance to move on.
Right.
The goal is obviously to win the district. You win the district, you get a better seed going into the region.
Yeah.
So, I'll kind of leave it at that and say we'll get in the region tournament, have a good seed, and if we're playing out here on this turf, I like our chances.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's set up now where you don't have to. Before it was a one-game region. Now you've got a chance. You got to be beaten a couple of times, which gives you a chance to move on to sectional. So, you can't look into the future and say everybody's going to be healthy and everybody's going to play well and everybody's going to repeat years.
Mm-hmm.
So, the last year's was great, but it's got no bearing on this year. It's kind of like a starting pitcher, that carves you up for one game, and they've got to switch pitchers. Well, that game doesn't have any bearing because it's a new guy on the mound.
Right.
So that's the way the outlook that we look at it as a new year, and certainly don't want to put any predictions, but I know this group, if we can stay healthy, we're going to be grinding in the end.
Right. Coach, I appreciate you joining me.
Thank you.
Good luck in this season. You can catch the Wildcats in action for the first time on March 4th, and then our first broadcast will be March 8th versus Sequoia.